Winter in the Nordic countries is long, dark and cold. With just a few hours of daylight and temperatures often dropping below freezing, daily life can feel much more challenging. So how do we handle life during this season? Well, this one Reddit user put it like this: we revert to our troll-like forms, grow fangs, fur gets longer, etc. to survive the winters, crawl in the snow, and growl at any source of light, be it a street light or a positive person, all day long. While we may not literally turn into trolls, Nordic winters do require some resilience and a change in how we live each day. One of the most important ways we get through this season is by embracing a slower pace, a habit that feels natural in winter and is essential for finding balance and calm during the darker months. One way we do this is by letting go of the constant need to stay productive. There's no guilt in taking breaks or resting more. Just like some animals hibernate during this season, we recognize the need for our own seasonal hibernation. Winter gives us permission to focus inward, to pause and recharge both physically and mentally. It's about understanding that the slower pace has its purpose. And anyway, if you are like a productivity enthusiast, sometimes you need to see the bigger picture and understand that these moments, these slower periods in your life are important to help you be productive long term. So slowing down isn't a waste of time. It's more like an investment in your future energy, creativity, focus, and happiness. A slower pace means tuning into what your body and mind need. For many of us, that starts with sleep. In studies, Finland consistently ranks as one of the most well-rested countries in the world, with people getting an average of 8 hours of sleep every single night. And what helps a lot to sleep better is the rule of starting winding down 2 hours before bedtime with calming activities like reading a book, sipping a warm drink like tea or mulled wine. I think that is called glöggi in Finnish and glögg in Swedish. It's a very traditional drink here. Lighting plays a big role too during this time of the year. With so much darkness, we use soft, dim lighting during the evening to create a calming atmosphere. Candles and lamps with warm tones makes your space feel so much cozier, and they are perfect for unwinding. Just like the body gets used to the lower temperatures little by little, the mind learns to appreciate the season for what it offers. This could mean spending quiet evenings, baking, knitting or painting, doing something at home with your hands, something creative maybe. So by embracing a slower pace during winter, we find balance and peace. It's not about doing nothing, it's about doing things differently, more mindfully and perhaps with more intention. We actually still have some winter traditions today that come from centuries-old Nordic customs. One of the most significant of these is Yule, a 12-day midwinter festival that was celebrated by the Norse. Yule was a time for feasting, drinking, and rituals to honor the gods that they had and ancestors. And it played an important role in bringing communities together during the darkest days of the year, so exactly during this time. Long winter nights were filled with storytelling, crafting, and other communal activities. People gathered around the fire to share legends and myths, which kept all the traditions alive for a long time. Yule was not only a celebration, but also a reminder that even during the darkest days, brighter times lay ahead. It offered hope and the strength to face the winter together. And even today, the word Yule, or a similar word like in Finnish, joulu, is still used to refer to the Christmas season in all Nordic countries. Feeding small birds is another ancient tradition in Finland that we actually still have today. In ancient Finnish beliefs, some thought that birds, especially during the dark midwinter, represented the spirits of the dead. They were these soul birds that visited the living during the Christmas season. So families would hang a bundle of oats or barley outside for the birds and thought that by offering food, people welcomed these spirits and honored their presence. Also, people believed that by feeding them in winter, they might stay away from the crops during the growing season. You can still see this tradition in Finland, probably in other Nordic countries as well, and it's a small but meaningful way to connect with nature, honor old customs, and bring a little bit of warmth to the cold, quiet season. Reflect and set intentions for the year ahead. Winter offers a natural pause, and the dark, slowed down atmosphere creates the perfect setting to sit by a cozy fireplace and look back on the past year and prepare for what is ahead. During this time of the year, I always spend time reflecting and journaling. I write about the wins and achievements I'm proud of, the challenges I faced, the lessons I learned, and the things that I am grateful for this year. Some other simple questions you could ask yourself are: how can I create more balance in my life? What habits do I want to carry into the new year, and which ones do I want to let go of? What brings me joy, and how can I make more time for it? For decades, the tradition of melting tin was a very popular way here to predict the future during the New Year's celebrations. Families would heat a small piece of tin until it melted and then pour it into cold water. This fast cooling process would cause the tin to harden into very unique shapes, which were then interpreted as symbols of what the coming year might hold. A heart shape might mean love, while a ship could suggest travel or adventure, and there was some shape for money. I have no idea, I don't remember what it was. But as a kid, this was so fun and magical activity full of imagination and excitement. However, the practice has been mainly banned, not fully, but mainly banned in many places because of all the environmental concerns, as the tin used to contain lead. But the tradition lives on in new forms, such as using wax or other safer materials to carry on the spirit of this custom. A somewhat similar tradition I have developed for the winter or New Year time is actually naming each year. I've been doing this for a few years now, and it has become a meaningful way to not forget my life and set intentions for the future, because I believe that it's so easy for the years to blur together as we get older, with memories fading and events kind of blending into one another. So naming each year helps me to hold on to those moments and giving each year its own identity and significance. For example, for 2024, I set the intention and name the breakthrough year when I chose its name a year ago. After thinking about it for quite some time, I came up with the name the breakthrough year, and immediately it felt like it clicked. This is it. This is the intention that I wanna set. Looking back, it truly was a breakthrough year for me in many ways, so I will keep this name and not change it. For example, I managed to take my YouTube channel from just this side project into something that I actually do full time, and I hope to do that next year still. Finding the beauty of nature in winter. Winter transforms nature in a way that makes us interact with it completely differently. It's a season that demands respect for its harshness, whether it's navigating icy paths or enduring the freezing cold, but it also reveals a beauty that is impossible to find at any other time of the year. One of the most peaceful things about winter is the quiet that comes with snow. Snow covers everything, softening the landscape and making it look calm and beautiful. It absorbs the sound, which creates a very peaceful stillness where everything feels quieter, slower, and more calm. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I just love the satisfying sound when you are walking on snow, the kind of crunchy sound. Winter actually offers subtle signs of life that you may not see during any other season. I love spotting footprints in the snow, like rabbits, deer, birds, or even mice, because they remind me that we share this frozen world with other creatures, and some animals even change their fur, like the color, to blend into the snow and adapt for survival. I can see that with the rabbits, the hares, the squirrels, for example, even from my window. I don't even have to go here to see that happening. And in northern regions, you can see the northern lights that paint the dark sky with shades of green and purple. I live in southern Finland, at least somewhat south, so I don't see them that often, but last year I spent this time of the year, so the darkest days in the Lapland, so very north of Finland, and every night I was able to see the northern lights in the sky. It was just something so magical. So if you're mindful, you can see so many little details that make winter so unique, and I really believe that the key is to embrace what winter has to offer rather than locking yourself indoors for 5 months, because it can make winter feel so much harder than it needs to be. Community activities are a great way to keep life fun and joyful. For us, skating rinks become gathering places where people of all ages lace up their skates and go skating. It's so funny to see some super small kids like 2 or 3 year olds learning how to skate with their parents. And ice hockey games often break out in these rinks spontaneously, with just strangers asking strangers to join. Hey, do you want to play? And then we all play together. It's something very communal, I feel. If you're feeling creative, you can make these snowball lanterns or ice lanterns. We used to do these little projects all the time as kids to add a little bit of light to the dark evenings. And sometimes it's not about the activity itself that is so amazing, but what you make out of it. So bringing a warm drink, some snacks, and walking on frozen lakes is another thing that you see people doing here every single day. Of course, not every activity has to be outdoors. Family and friends are a big part of Nordic life during winter, and we play a lot of board games to bring everyone together and kind of stay away from any distractions and like stressful situations and thoughts about work or stuff like that, and just be present. I don't know if it's a custom in other countries, but here we go out to pubs or bars just to play those games while having warm drinks. So I really believe that winter is what you make of it. By slowing down, connecting with others, and finding ways to enjoying this season's beauty, you can turn the cold, dark days into something peaceful and calm. If you missed my last video where I talk about 10 different Nordic habits to bring more calm into your life, you can check it here. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to stay kind and meaningful in your own beautiful journey. See you in the next one. Ciao.